Hey everyone, welcome back to the gathering where faith meets vulnerability. Hi, I'm Dr. Tanisha Allen, and I'm so excited for you to join us on another episode. In today's episode, we'll be talking about shame won't have the last say. And as you can see, we have a special guest here. But before I introduce her and tell you what and why she's even sitting with me, I want to make sure that you share, you like, and you hit that little belly thing and make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you will be notified when we drop a video on this channel. Are you following me? I'm giving you 3 seconds to click that bell, and that's 1, 2, 3. I hope you subscribe. Listen, I need you to go right now and share in WhatsApp, share on Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, wherever you need to share, to send to a friend in their messages, and make sure that you let them know that this conversation is going to be transformational. We're talking about shame today, and listen, we're going to dig up all the secret places that shame has been hiding in your life. If this is the first time that you're joining the gathering, here on the gathering, we are on a mission to join like-minded women all around this world to make sure that we're chasing after God with all our might, but also healing in every area of our life. And today will be a show that you will definitely be informed so that you can be healed. And here I have my spiritual mother. Come on, let me see the emojis in the comment section. And can you please introduce yourself to my people here on the gathering?
Oh my gosh. Well, hello everyone. My name is Winsome McLean. I am honored to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am a leader in a local church. Who else? I work at FAU. I am the owner of Soul Care Institute LLC, where I provide therapeutic services for individuals, couples, and families. And what else?
She's an author.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
She's a renowned speaker.
Oh, God. All the things.
She's all the things. And so we're happy, or I'm happy to have you here. And I'm also honored that you took time out of your busy schedule to sit here with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on now.
Oh, I feel all
whatever you want. Whatever you want.
So listen, guys, I didn't just have her here on the show because she's my spiritual mother. We have some type of connection. No, she has the knowledge and the wisdom to go behind the conversation that we're about to have. And so we're talking about shame won't have the last say. And how I came about this conversation was actually because of her, right? And she didn't even know it. She did not even know it. We actually went out, and she didn't know. I didn't even say nothing, but I was having all kind of conflicts going on emotionally. I didn't know why. And it just came out of nowhere. And I'm not someone that kind of struggles like that. And so because I didn't know what it was, and I was just unclear, and it started in a conversation I was having with her, because she's a therapist and she know about all these different personality tests that we be taking, right? Because we trying to always figure out something about ourselves.
And we need answers.
So why am I like this, right? Am I the only one messed up like this? But I ended up, I had took the test years ago and woke up 3 a.m. in the morning. Instead of praying, I went and picked up my phone to read that personality test again.
Okay.
And when I read the personality test, I was telling her that what I saw was everything wrong with me. And I'm not that type of person, and so I read it, and I first told my cousin, I was like, I just read this thing and I'm not good. I'm not as good as I think I am. And then she was like, read it back to me. And so I'm searching through the length of the description that they were saying, that the type of personality trait that I had, and it didn't say anything like that. Not even near what I had originally told her. So I was conveying that message to her and telling her that, and I was like, I don't feel good. And I was also talking about me putting myself back into a community and feeling safe in that community. And I didn't say that at the time, but I think I did. I said, do you think this is shame? I don't even know if you remember me
Yeah,
saying that.
yeah.
And I was like, do you think this is shame? And I think God allowed that to happen, not only for me to reconcile things that I'm happening that's inside of me, but also for women. And I realized that because of the prophetic call that's on my life, that the Lord always have me go through a certain journey so that I could come back and teach somebody else this journey, or the journey that they need to take. And so shame came up. Didn't know shame was an issue emotionally with people. Never heard of the conversation. So listen, you could search YouTube, you could search Instagram, whatever platform you're watching. I don't think anybody really talk about shame. They talk about anxiety, they talk about suicide, they talk about depression, they talk about even anger, hate even, but not shame. And if that is true, we know that it's not talked enough amongst women of God. And where do shame and where shame shows up. But before I go on, I will have to say that I thank you too, because I didn't have the nurturing that I needed as a young girl or as a child. And so your voice always invokes some kind of thought to me. And I always throwing stuff at you. And I was like, and sometimes I do it on purpose because I just want to hear what she has to say, because sometimes I'm like, where you get that from? Like, I would never think of these things, but at the same time, it's calming for me. It's very, and and at first I was afraid of that. I was afraid of you nurturing me because I felt like I wasn't good again, and that I'm going to do something for you to reject me.
Wow.
So, and we're going to get into that more. So, the first question I have for you is, from your perspective as both a therapist and a woman of God,
yes,
how would you define shame, and how is it different from guilt?
Okay. All right. Let's jump right in. So I want to start by saying that shame is a necessary emotion, right? It is necessary because what shame does is it communicates when I have crossed a boundary, right? So shame allows me to know that if Tanisha and I are in an interpersonal relationship, if I do something and I see your reaction or I see your response, shame kicks in and says, you went too far. Right? So shame is normal. Shame is necessary. I think shame is really essential to the maintenance of our interpersonal relationships.
Okay.
But there is what we would call toxic shame. And this is where we now take on a shame-based identity.
Wow.
Right? And so let's go back to the beginning. So children, right around the age of 2, they have gone through the trust versus mistrust. So we're talking about Erickson's developmental stages, right? They know that they can trust their mom, their dad, whomever their significant caregiver is. But then they transition into this stage that is called autonomy versus shame and doubt. And so if you see a 18-month-old, they're going to be, going around the corner, going towards the stove. They want autonomy. They want permission to explore. But they're also going to be looking behind them to make sure that their safe space is there, right? Mom, dad, whomever. But the opposite side of autonomy is shame and doubt. And this is where you're always you're told no. You're always like redirected. It's never this opportunity for exploration. And so that's where this whole shaming really begins. And so it's imperative that parents keep in mind that they will set the tone as to whether or not their children grow up with a shame-based identity versus an autonomous identity, where I have the ability to go, right? I know that I can return to safety and I'm not shamed for going. Right?
Yeah. So there's something that had happened when I was younger that has caused this emotion. So it didn't just happen when I was an adult.
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
Right.
Because if it happened as an adult, see, the thing is that our traumatic experiences, we have been told that our traumatic experiences is an event that took place, right? Trauma is so beyond just an event that took place. Trauma is, how did my body respond to what I went through?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Trauma is, who did I talk to after this experience happened to me? Right?
Yeah.
So when we take on this shame-based identity, there is no one for me to talk to.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It is this internal narrative that there is something innately wrong with me. So if a parent does me harm, I cannot create the narrative that my parent is the wrong party. So what do I say? I say that there is probably something inherently wrong with me that then caused my parent to treat me the way that they did.
Right.
I am dependent upon my parents, so surely they can't be the wrong party, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be me. So I'm going to internalize that there is something flawed about my person. Not about the decision that I just made, not about me burning my hand on the stove because I was curious.
Yeah.
It is no, innately, I am flawed. There is something innately wrong with me. And so it's important for parents to really understand the impact of their no, the impact of their reprimand, the impact of how they're interacting and engaging with their children.
Yeah.
Because that might develop this personality that everything that I do is wrong.
Right.
Every relationship that I get into, I am the problem.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so the opposite of that, as it relates to your question of guilt has to do with, I did something wrong. Right. And I have to now take responsibility for something that I've done wrong. There's a lot of people that feel guilt over nothing. They just feel guilt because, oh my gosh, this person responded this way. That doesn't mean that I did something wrong.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But guilt is about doing something wrong, where shame is, I am wrong.
And I think a lot of women could resonate with that because even with, and you know it because you do trauma informed with business owners, right?
Yes.
So we see a lot of times when it comes to business or any type of big move that a woman of God want to make, they always say that, or they I wouldn't say always, but most of the times we will hear that I can't do it, and they don't really know that it's some type of shame that is enforcing those thoughts that they're having.
Right.
And that is so good because now we could understand the reason why we have so much fear.
Because those formative years was supposed to be the time that we could explore, that we could fall down, but know that somebody was coming to pick us up.
Right.
Right. It is in those experiences where, you ever seen a child and it'll be a pit bull come after them. They going right after the pit bull, right?
Yeah.
It's a pit bull for a pit bull,
right.
And they ready to go at it. But we teach them to fear the pit bull. Right. By the responses that we give.
Right.
Right. And so, yes, many of us, we have this fear factor because someone said no to us so many times.
It's interesting. I mean, she's talking. I'm listening, but I'm also processing. So if you see me pause, I'm processing, and I have to catch myself. I have to remember I'm interviewing. Right? I'm interviewing. I can't be over here trying to get healed, right? I have to listen to the video after.
Oh my God!
But it's so good because I mean, I always said if you listen to this show on any length of time, one of the things that I was a master in was anger. And I responded with that no matter what. If I feel hurt, if I feel like you rejected me, and it wasn't, there was 0 to 100, right? So I never was able to understand different types of emotions. I if I felt like I needed to feel sad, I'll find some way to be angry
Wow.
at myself because why are you sad?
Mm.
Or
Oh,
at the
wow.
person because you made me sad. So now I need to be angry because I can't show you that I'm sad because sadness is a weakness or something like that, right? So shame now, because we're so, I don't even want to say indoctrinized in this thought process that shame only comes when somebody see you naked. Like, for example, then you have shame. Or maybe you went to school and you didn't like the shoes or your hair. That's shame. Because you don't want people to look at you some type of way. But shame could be it could be the, what I want to say, the nursing ground for all these other emotions. That it's the host of all these other emotions. And maybe we could be going to therapy for all this time.
Yes.
And trying to figure out, okay, well, I know I have anxiety, but don't know that the core of anxiety is in shame. And so we'll be on this marathon to try to be healed and never get healed if we don't know that shame is our host. Sure. Shame is our stronghold.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so, I don't know.
Wow. I was talking to a client of mine, and she was telling me about, going through, I don't know if we can say this on here, but SA.
Right.
And it started when she was like 7 and happened then multiple times after that. And she told me, she said, I've been in therapy since, let's say, 2018, 2019. And she's like, I still don't feel that I have tapped into, this was a new client, that I've tapped into what it really is going to take for me to be healed. And so again, immediately I'm thinking, because shame is in the forefront of my mind. Right. I've been doing all this research. Thank you, Jesus. But just to speak to that, shame is one of the least researched emotions out there.
Yeah.
And so immediately, though, I thought about a 7-year-old going to a parent and saying, hey, this family member has done this, and her being put in the shower and beaten for what she had just experienced. Right. And so when you think about a parental response like that, how can I not grow up feeling as if I am innately flawed? And then it happens again and again and again and again, and I still have the same response.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think we do have to pause and take a moment and really ask some poignant questions as to whether or not we're operating from the shame-based identity. Because some of us have masked it, and I might be jumping a little bit ahead, but we've masked it as humility.
Yeah.
Humility for many of us is hiding. It's not humility.
Yeah.
It's actually humiliation. We have been humiliated into hiding.
Yeah. I just had a conversation with my cousin. And she's in the background, guys. So
production.
If you hear movement, she's in the background. Yesterday, I don't know if I ever I told her something, but I don't think I told her the detail of it. And I talk at great length about being saved by a minister in the church. What I never talked about was being, you can't say it here, so I'm gonna mouth it out, by someone that was supposed to be dating me, right? And I never talked about it because at one, I didn't feel the same type of emotions connected to it. So I felt more hurt or harm when the minister did it. But when he did it, I didn't say it and I didn't talk about it because I was like, I should have never been there. I put myself in that place. And the way that it, just, I'll tell you about it after.
Okay.
But how the whole event put I was shame. I really was shame. I couldn't tell anybody because I was like, I probably shouldn't have went. Like, why did I go? And then I was embarrassed because other people were there, and I didn't know how to handle that. But at the same time, I was trying to figure out, why don't I feel nothing to it? Why isn't there an emotion connected to it? And maybe it was just a different form of, like, I felt shame with the minister, but I was a little bit younger. Of course, this time I was a little bit older. I felt shame, but I also didn't feel another emotion. I didn't feel angry at him. I didn't feel hurt by it, and I didn't. It was only Holy Spirit that reminded me of it. Why I even told her, because and we're close. We're close.
Yeah.
So I didn't even tell her the details of it, and I was trying to figure out, maybe this is another form of shame. And she was like, maybe you're numb. Maybe another form of shame that brought me into numbness. And so, yeah.
Yeah, because when you think about toxic shame, right, we're thinking about this concept of producing worthlessness. Like, my life produces this. This is what my life produces, right?
Yes.
And so if that is the case, when I suffer from these kind of events, as you put it, I am going to, again, remember, I'm going to internalize that I am inherently flawed. So if this happens to me, there was something that I had to do with this.
Right.
This is what people like me have to deal with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so,
especially when it keeps happening.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. At some point, you have to disassociate for the purpose of your right mind. My mind requires that I disassociate.
Wow.
How can I fully engage in these experiences? It will rupture. It will destroy me. Right. And so I think for many of us, the concept around disassociation is very, very palpable, because that is a coping mechanism that we've had to develop over the years. And so going through that experience, you weren't physically there. You were physically there, but you weren't there emotionally. So that's how it is. You're able to then talk about it in the way that you've talked about it, because there was no emotional investment. I couldn't. How could I be emotionally present in this moment, knowing what was going on? No, immediately I'm going to check out. I'm going to have this outer body experience. It is as if I'm observing myself. I'm not fully there. But unfortunately, Dr. T, that is how most of us live our lives. We are not present in our experiences. And that is why when people say to me, McLean, you remember this? And I'll be like, no, that was because I was not present.
Right.
I was physically there, but my thoughts, everything was somewhere else. Right. And for me, I'm talking about myself now. For many of my experiences, I ain't there.
Right.
I am somewhere else. Whether it's because of self-preservation, whether it's because this is just a coping strategy that I pull from, it doesn't matter, right? But many of us live our lives that way. We're missing moments because we disassociate.
Right. And for me, most of those moments is in a place of success.
Yeah.
And I think, because I like you said, I never thought that, even though these things are happening to me, good things are happening to me.
Right.
I felt like I didn't deserve it.
Correct.
Or I felt like something was going to happen that was going to take it away.
Sure.
So I couldn't keep myself in that moment, because what happens if something happens to take it away? If like somebody dies, or whatever the situation may be,
or will minimize.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time. I may have even heard it from you.
Definitely.
Where it's just like, Tanisha, did you stop to pause and celebrate? Oh, well, ain't no need to celebrate. Like, it doesn't everybody do this? No. Everybody don't become a doctor. Like, no, everyone isn't making this amount of money, or everyone isn't, fulfilling their life's dream. No, that's not everybody's story. And so do we take an opportunity to pause and celebrate ourselves, or do we minimize every accomplishment we've ever had, scurry over it, and jump to the next thing?
That's definitely
because
me.
the only way that we are legitimizing our worth is by that next thing,
Right.
that next
Right.
trinket, that next whatever, versus being able to just sit in your person and applaud who you are right now. Not with anything extra, not with another certification,
Mhm.
but can I just celebrate who I am right now?
Right. Right. I oh my God, this is so good. All right. We're gonna get to my next thing. But I feel like with me, I'm like checklist.
Sure.
And so that's the reason why I can't celebrate. And I make that excuse. I'm like, oh, I'm just a checklist person. I did it next. I did this next.
Mm-hmm.
And I just keep going. And I'm never allowed myself to feel because emotions was shameful.
Mm-hmm.
What you crying for? You want me to give you something to cry about?
Right.
After you hit me. So
Right.
I'm going to cry.
Yes, Lord.
If I fell,
Right.
get up.
Right.
You're a big girl. Get up. What you falling for? Or maybe I didn't put my clothes on good, so I'm
Right.
shamed for that.
Yes.
And so it's wow. And it's a lot. And if you can relate to anything that was said, or if your mind is blown, just put the mind blown emoji, and we'll know what you're talking about. We'll know what you're talking about.
And you know why this is so significant? This is significant because only the people that are of significance in your life can really shame you. If you do not mean anything to me,
yeah,
there's not a lot that you could do to say or whatever. Like, you don't know me. You know what I mean? So it don't even matter. But for the people who know you, who know like your heart and your character, for them to do certain things and to say certain things, that's a whole nother level, right? So the really solidifying that shame-based identity, or that toxic shame type of mentality, when it comes from people that we are in relationship with, it makes it that much more difficult for us to navigate.
So because you said that, let's go back to what I said earlier.
Yeah.
So why do you think, as a therapist, I felt more of emotions connected to the essay with the church minister than I did with every other event that happened after it? I know you said that it was probably because of this association.
Expectation. There now becomes this expectation
Right.
that these things will happen to me. When I was essayed, I began to think that that was all I was good for in a relationship, is for a man to get to a place where he is enjoying himself,
Right.
but I have to suffer through it. So there's an expectation that's connected to the experiences that we have. There is a narrative that we create as we internalize these experiences. I never thought I would get married. What?
Yeah.
That was not in my peer view. I didn't think that was going to be for me. Why? Because all of the things that were spoken, all the things that I rehearsed internally, there was no way.
And for me, I knew I would get married because there was always Ben was always attracted to me, but they would never. I expected my divorce from the onset of the marriage. Like, I expected him to leave me.
We gonna know that there's gonna be some type of infidelity. There's gonna be some type of I saw it. Like, I lived it. I experienced it. So of course, this is going to be the outcome.
Right. And I'm only good enough for that. Yeah. Let me check in with you guys. Are you okay? Are you guys okay? Because I'm not okay.
Oh God,
I'm not okay. This is blind. It's blowing my mind, and it's Anyways, okay, let's go to the next question.
Okay.
Why do you think shame is such a powerful tool for the enemy to use specifically against women?
The thing about shame is that shame ultimately leads to isolation. And so there's this protective kind of factor, right, that's associated with shame. Like, I can't, let people know, right? I can't show myself, I cannot expose myself. And the one thing about women is that we desire community.
Yeah.
Innately, we're made for community, right? Where men, they'll be on the golf course and they talking about the toy that they bought, the car they bought, like, whatever, how much money they making. We're women, when we come together, we're talking about our emotional experiences. We're talking about, what brought us joy, what brought us sadness. We're relational in that regard, right? And so I know that the enemy is using shame to then isolate us, make us feel as if I am the only one that have experienced this thing, and no one is going to be able to identify with me. Or because we as women are so catty sometimes and so petty, that we make women feel that we are so far beyond them, where in all actuality, we have all had very similar experiences, right? We get all pretty. Look at all this get up, right? And we just, want people to feel like we're further along than we really are, right? And I think by nature, we just have issues as women as it relates to us relating to other women. And I think the enemy really knows that because we're so relational, it's easy for us to be divided in that regard. Sometimes, think of the women in your life or women that you admire from a distance, and, where they are in life, what the degrees that they have, what they drive, or whatever, the company that they're company of people that they are around, right? There's like this desire to be connected, right? But many times as women, we don't turn to say, sis, I went through something.
Right.
We just kind of dress it up and we're moving forward.
Right.
Right. So even the fakeness sometimes of being in the community of women will cause us to isolate even the more and retreat back into that shame because, well, she's a woman and she got over it. Not realizing that she's crying herself to sleep because you don't see what's going on behind closed doors.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or she using that facade to cover
Absolutely.
up. So I heard you preaching the other day.
What I say? What did I say?
So you said that the enemy would cause these events to happen because we are predisposed. I was taking notes.
Yeah.
Maybe use that big
girl,
word.
Come on, girl.
For certain things, right? And so do you, because you said that, would it then be true that the enemy would use women against each other, create these events to happen to reinforce the shame that they're already feeling within each other?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. If I'm craving community, Dr. T, and I need community because I feel isolated, I feel alone, and then I get into the community, this lady, it was a Friday night, and there was a service going on, and I wasn't going to go, so I wasn't dressed for Sunday morning. Like I was literally at work, right? Found a pair of shoes in the car, threw the pair of shoes on, went into the service. Child, this lady, she prophesied, right? Looked down at my feet and was like, "Oh yeah, because I know you really want good things." I was like, "Ooh." I literally saw her look down at my jacked up shoes that I just put on because I wanted to come in a little bit decent for the church service. And shit, I was like, this chick, ooh wee, come on, Brooklyn. I was like, Brooklyn, get it together, girl, get it together. But we don't even realize the things that we're saying and what we're doing and how that will impact other people.
Especially in a setting like that. Why do we keep doing things like
we
women
silly.
of God?
We silly. We need to
women
stop.
of God. Come on. Especially when you don't have certain relationships with people. It's not your place to say anything. She don't know. What if your heels broke? What if your Fendi's or Louis Vuitton? What if something happened to your shoes? And you just slipped on.
Child, what if I can't afford Louis? What if I can't afford Fendi or whoever? And I just came to church because I needed a word from the Lord. Why
And
you had to preface whatever you was about to say with that? Because we're not all the way healed. That's the problem. We're not all the way healed. And how we determine our healing is by how we show up. And that is not a good determinant of whether or not you're healed.
so, and I don't know about all Jamaicans, right? But in my Jamaican community, mother and father, uh,
Child.
we always, what my mom did well was make sure we look good.
Sure.
My grandmother too.
Mm-hmm.
We no, even if we didn't have it, we looked good.
Mm-hmm.
The house was spotless.
Sure.
The bed had to be tucked in, folded around
My
a
goodness.
certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Everything had to be perfect, and if it wasn't, we were shamed.
Sure.
I remember I have a cut or a scar really on my arm, and I was telling my daughter, she was asking me about it, and it was because my mom was upset with me because between me coming out of the bathroom with my clothes and going to my room, I dropped my underwear. And I didn't see or notice that I dropped my underwear. And she came out of her room, saw that the underwear was on the floor. Of course, she knows me because at that time it was just me and my brother. And she took a hanger and she hit me, and it split my arm in two. So I still have a big scar on my arm. And I have such a weird thing with my underwear now.
Yep.
Like I used to say, I was married 15 years. I don't think my ex-husband saw my underwear. Like I would do everything else to disguise it or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's clean. Like it was just a thing. And even beyond that, it was, you always had to look good. You always had to be put together. You always had to be in place. Like I don't have any nails on, didn't get my nails done, didn't have no time, child. And there was a point where I wouldn't even come on video.
Right.
Because my nails was not done. And it became a bondage. And I recognized within this this thought process that we've created a bondage of limitation that we can't go beyond if whatever it is, if we don't look good. And it's not even that. And I believe in looking good, because I mean, if anybody know me, I'm always overly dressed. Like I don't do it on purpose, especially maybe because people could think I'm tall. They'll be like, "Ah, she always doing the most." No, I just like to look good in real life. And but it goes beyond that when it's like you can't do anything because you feel like you don't look good.
Right.
And so that was another level of shame that I don't have to deal with now, but I realized that, okay, you're not as successful as you think you are because you feel like you don't talk as good. You feel like you don't look good. You feel like you always have to have on makeup. You always have to have your nails done. You always have to have certain things. So that's another level that I know that the enemy uses to trick us into thinking that we could only be successful if we look like this.
Sure. I took myself out to brunch yesterday, and I was sitting and just journaling a little bit. And this whole concept around perfectionism is so destructive, right? And so I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to God, and I'm like, okay, what is this? What am I doing? Again, giving myself a little pep talk. And what I wrote down was, instead of using the word perfect, I wrote down, how do I hone my craft at this point of the journey, right? And so for me, it's not about how do I perfect anything, because perfection is an anomaly. It is a place that I will never reach. It is a delusion that keeps us spinning around and around in circles, that also keeps us diminishing what we have been able to accomplish, minimizing what we've been able to accomplish. And so I had to switch that conversation in my mind to, how do I hone my craft? What are the things that I need to, develop in more, learn more about, be able to like freely articulate in a way, right? That I feel satisfied with. Right. And so this, again, the concept around it has to be this way, it has to look this way. Like, and when it doesn't, it causes such a tremendous amount of shame when we feel like we're consistently missing the mark.
Right. I think we have to just do that and she just gave you a practical step.
Yeah. Yes.
Or maybe two. Journaling your thoughts. What is it that you're feeling, and how can you change your mindset in whatever you're feeling, or changing the way you are speaking to yourself.
Correct.
In whatever you're feeling. And we need to do more of that. People think that journaling is just for people who likes to sketch and keep a cute little book. But
I use mine.
I need to use mine more. Okay, I need to use mine more. Because maybe I won't tell myself certain things that I'm telling myself. Correct. But it's I used to do it. I used to do it. And I think that if you're able to, you have a journal.
I do.
What is your journal? How can they get your journal?
Oh gosh, the most recent one is Where the Wound Began. They can find it on Amazon. It literally walks you through, how we talked about trauma before, during, after. It literally walks you through it. To land you at a place of what does healing look like.
Right.
So it's a 30-day journal. Every day there are 2 questions for you to grapple with and process and talk through. So I think that would be a really good resource.
Yes. So please go on Amazon. Look for Winslow McLean on Amazon. And what was the title again?
Where the Wounds Began.
Where the Wounds Began. And I think that will be a beneficial tool for you to even start your journaling journey. If you do it already, or if you need to go and start. Listen, because I already know a lot of things. I know for sure. Okay. And I don't go because of familiarity. I know because of knowledge of, and what you know and what you have done in the lives of people. I have never recommended my spiritual mother to anyone, especially in therapy session, and they not come back and say, oh my God, who is this lady? And I'm sure that you will do the same. Listen, if you get that book, make sure that you let me know you got that book. Okay. And yeah. So here's another question for you. How have you seen shame keep women from stepping into their God-given assignment?
Yeah.
I mean, you watched me.
Say more, Dr. T.
I mean, she had, what is it called? She had a case study right in front of her face. A whole case study. Okay.
No, what again, reinforcing the message of shame, right? Innately, something wrong. I'm flawed. Am I deserving of what God has for me? And so for some of us, it is not that we have an affinity towards failure, is that we fear success.
Yeah.
Right. We fear what will happen if I actually succeed. I might have to actually set boundaries.
Yes.
Like I might have to actually say to certain people who are in my life that I can't do this anymore. Right. Like what might I have to do if I actually follow God's plan? And so for many women, we live in this place of, I know that I want it for myself. I do, but am I worthy of it? Am I worthy of it? And it is the worthiness that keeps us separated from whatever it is. We will create barriers to keep us separated from what God has for us.
That's definitely true.
Right? We will convince ourselves that intellectually we can't handle it. We will talk ourselves out of the boardroom before we're even invited to the boardroom.
Yeah.
Like we'll do all of those things without ever having a conversation with a living soul.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was graduating with my doctorates and I was the valedictorian, I had to come up with a speech. At the time, I just got out of the hospital.
Right.
Was in the hospital for weeks. first of all, I couldn't believe that I actually finished my doctorates. That was one. I couldn't believe that they actually picked me to be valedictorian. And then I was already fighting with this speech. What am I going to say to these people? And at the time I was, this is 2018. So I was younger.
Yeah.
Then I walk into this room full of elders, older, seasoned saints. And I was like, what? I think I text you and I was like, Mom, I was like, what am I supposed to say to these people?
Oh,
these were people that have been pastors and bishops, and you could tell that they were seasoned, and I'm the youngest one amongst them. And not only that, then the salutatorian took part of my speech. She said almost the same thing I said. I wanted to say the little that I did jot down, and I was freaking out. The only reason why I got on the stage is because I had no choice.
Right.
You know, they're gonna call my name regardless of how I was feeling. But that was a process that I go through all the time. It's a process that I struggle with when someone is calling me into the boardroom, or when someone is looking to me for answers, or when somebody is searching out for me. I'm always hiding.
Yeah.
Because, like you've been saying, I never feel that I deserve, or I'm good enough, or I'm able to do it, because I'm always looking at myself from a place of shame, I guess, you know, and that has been the stronghold in my life. And I thank God that He revealed it. But I realized that even as, let me go here.
Okay.
When we were having the conversation in the car, we were talking about church.
Yes.
We were talking about me going back into community, right?
Yes.
So I realized in this that one of the reasons why there was this tightness, this anxiety over reintegrating myself, was because I was shamed in a place of community. And so even though I was not wrong, I was made to feel like I was wrong again. You know, and this repetition again. So, and in a place of community, I was shamed again. In a place of church, in a place where I felt like I was supposed to get refuge, this is now an ongoing thing that I'm shamed. I'm put in my place. I have to be quieted, silenced. I can't speak up. And if I did, I am shamed. And so I had to now reconcile this feeling that maybe the next person, you know, I have to sacrifice that whatever feeling that I'm feeling and say, maybe the next person won't do that to me.
Right.
Maybe I have to give this a chance.
Right.
Maybe I have to do whatever I need to do, because like you said, I need community. Right. I actually crave for community. Like that's something that I want. But why is it when I'm walking into a church, especially by myself, even to like visit or whatever, why is it this feeling that I'm getting? Why is it this, you know, whatever? So, you know, I think to your point, or points that you have given us, we could psych ourselves out of going into our next.
Yes.
If we do not deal with the root of where the shame is coming from. And for me, it didn't just start at the last church or the church before that. It started from a little girl being shamed.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the cut that you just told us about on your arm. You can feel the cut, right? You can feel the reminder of the cut, but you're not bleeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so I think sometimes when we walk into these situations, because our bodies keep the score and the experiences, they don't leave us. That's not the way that God created us. They remain. They stay. I think they stay because we need them as a point of reference, not to dominate the decisions that we make, but as a point of reference, right? So whenever I feel something that is familiar, it is saying to me, investigate a little bit further. It's not saying to run.
Yeah.
It's saying investigate, observe, be mindful. Something about this interaction is bringing up something for me. Let me be mindful to watch and to observe, not let me immediately get into a place of safety, because you are safe.
Yeah.
You're no longer in that traumatic or that adverse type of experience. You're safe now, but there's something that reminds you of it's familiar. Hold off on making those quick kind of choices and decisions until you figure out what is it about this that's familiar, or what's really going on right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So walking into a congregation is going to bring up those memories for you. It's inevitable because that's how we were created. But you have to pause and say, before I make a hasty decision, let me observe and see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, my next question was going to be about the signs. What
Sure.
signs can we look for that lets us know that we're operating in this place of shame, or shame is blocking us from going into our next?
Yeah.
I think what you just said was so relevant to that question. But what would you add to it?
Yeah, I think we have to investigate our inner turmoil. What is that? What is your inner conversation? Right? That inner critic, that inner voice. What is that conversation that you continue to have with yourself? Because that conversation is going to indicate to you whether or not you're operating from a shame-based place. For many women, they will feel this sense of emptiness, like no matter what I do, I don't feel full. No matter what I do, I don't feel satisfied. And so sometimes, yeah, we've been shamed into thinking that, again, we have to do more.
Right.
So nothing really ever fills our cup.
I have a cousin that has about 6 degrees, masters. And we took it and said that, she's so smart. I mean, she is. If you could get several masters, you're smart.
Yes.
Right? And in different fields.
Sure.
But now that you're saying this to me, she was obviously running and retreating.
Or trying to get to something. If I can get to this next thing, it's gonna fill me up. She arrived there and was still empty. Okay, let me set another goal for myself.
Yeah.
And you arrive there, dang, this still not it. Right? So we're just running, and we're trying to find and get to a place, because at the end of the day, I have to pause and I have to see me, and I have to love me, accept me, appreciate me, because all these other things are just accessories.
Right. And that's the reason why people say, okay, well, only if I could just get married and not satisfied. Only if I could have a child, have a child, because in them,
right, there's something missing.
There's something missing, and they feel shame.
Yeah,
that's missing. Wow. I'm checking in again. How y'all doing? What's going on with you? How do you feel? What do you think about what we have already discussed? Have you identified the places in your life that you have been feeling shame, or where it started? I think that should be the starting.
Yeah, I don't think many of us will be able to identify where it started, because it's such a and kind of an infant type of experience. I'm talking about like the root of it, like,
right.
For some of us, it's that infant, very early kind of experience. But I think it is worth us investigating what's going on with me right now in my adulthood. And let me say this also, that most people that suffer with any type of addiction, shame is very, very palpable in their experience. Many of us have been shamed into addiction because we have been trying to, the way in which we have been dealt with has been so harsh that we've been trying to soothe.
Oh my goodness. you know, um, now I'm just thinking about, because I know people with addictions, and because I know how they were raised, how they grew up, you know, it was an environment where they were told that they were stupid, that they were idiots, that they're just like their dad. And so what you're saying is that could be the cause.
I'm running to something to soothe me. What are coping mechanisms? Coping mechanisms are put in place for us to soothe our central nervous system.
This helps me because if you watch this for any length of time, you hear me talk about my children a lot, and I realize that there's a lot of things that I have to go back and redo, or go back and have a conversation when it comes to my 18-year-old, because there are things that I didn't know any better, and there's places where I could see that they operate in shame just from the conversations that you've had with me. And even with my youngest daughter, she's always saying to me, like, if she spills something, even though I have no reaction, I could just be looking, and she'd be like, "I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." So there had to have been an event some time ago,
yes,
that have caused her to think that if she messed up something, that she has to overly apologize to me. And I was thinking, like, girl, what?
And that is a place of hypervigilance, right? And if I can get a little technical here, this is where the cortisol and the adrenaline of your daughter, who is at a little age, that if it is not dealt with, cortisol and adrenaline will continue to be released in her body, and very soon into her 20s and 30s, she will be diseased, because our bodies were not set up to operate from this place of hypervigilance continuously. So there's a possibility that when she's in your presence, there is always a hypervigilance, because she is nervous that if something goes wrong or she does something wrong, her mom is going to respond in a particular way. So many of us lived under hypervigilance for the duration of our lives. And now we're coming up with these things. And it's just like, this don't even run in my family. Like, what's going on? What is going on? But you were heightened so much. Your body was working overtime that now it just doesn't have it anymore.
Oh my goodness. So there's just some things that I need to go in. Because as of today, there was no reaction. But there had to have been a time that there was a reaction. Okay, so
how do we repair that?
Before you go there, before you go to repair, remind me, because my mind is going 100 miles an hour. So can I also inherit shame by watching somebody else? So for instance, say, I'm going to use my youngest daughter. So for instance, maybe she watched me react to her older sister. Can she inherit that?
Absolutely. Because I can watch how you interact with your oldest as it relates to anger. I observe that. I see it. So absolutely. It might not have been something directly correlated to her experience, but she already knows my sister did this and my mom reacted this way. And so now I got to protect myself because I don't want what happened to my sister to happen to. These are the narratives that children create in order to survive. And again, it's never the mother.
Right.
It's not the mama. It's not the daddy. It is me.
Wow. Wow. So how do we repair it?
So I think in that instance, you begin to use your words, right? There's nothing that you could do that I'm going to flip my lid. You may have seen me with your sister. I'm not the same mama. Like we got to we have to engage in those conversations so that next time you can begin to observe the decrease of that vigilance. She'll make a mistake and not have that automatic kind of reaction or response, but you have to couple it with your words.
This is a whole therapy. Now on to the second segment of the show.
Oh
I
God.
had, while I got her here, I have to ask. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I have to ask. All right, so this is we talked about repair. So what are
Yes.
some practical steps that women could take to start
Sure.
breaking free from shame?
Yes. One thing that I want us to get in the habit of doing is externalizing. We got to stop keeping everything here. Um, our thoughts can play trick on us, our emotions can play tricks on us. We have to begin to find safe spaces to have the conversation. It is the enemy's objective to keep us isolated and to keep us silenced.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us are not going through these adverse kind of thought life because of nothing more than the fact that we aren't talking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would want us to be able to find community where we can break free from the isolation and the silence
Mm-hmm.
and actually begin to talk and realize that many of us have very similar experiences. We're more alike than we are different.
Mm-hmm.
I would want us to begin that journey of liberating our inner child, um, understanding that we can reconnect with ourselves.
Yeah.
When we talked about earlier, disassociating and for the sake of survival, removing our emotions from the equation, begin to track your emotional experiences throughout your day. I did that one day. I was on my way to work and I was like, just for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do what I tell my clients to do. Um, so I woke up the morning. It was about 7 o'clock, and I was heading through the door. And these are the conversations that I have with myself, Lord Jesus. So I'm driving to work, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to track from I leave the house at 7 until about 12 o'clock. I'm going to track my emotional experiences. So I drive out. I'm good, and then I see someone run into the back of someone. It was a rainy day. They ran into the back of someone, and then they veered off and drove through the parking lot and left.
Mm.
So I had walked out the house. I was calm. I was, good. And then in that moment, anger. Because
Right.
how could you do that to
Right.
somebody and not da 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 da? Like this
Right.
is the conversation that I'm having. So I'm identifying this is the emotional experience that I'm having. And then I drive a little bit further and I'm in a traffic jam. Oof. I feel a pinch of impatience. Right. So I'm literally walking through because I need to be in touch with me. I need to know what I am feeling.
That's good.
Right. So, women, men, whomever is watching, I want you to track, just do this exercise, track yourself, significant events that happen tomorrow morning. How are you responding to them emotionally to re engage yourself on an emotional level? Because we are just out here just.
Yeah. And I think when they're able to do that, they're able to communicate better.
Yes.
Because if I came around the time you felt anger,
Yes.
I'm going to interpret it as you're angry with me.
Correct. Yes. Correct. And I feel like it is just important for us to know that we have emotions. I'm going to give a little tidbit here. This one is for free. But every emotion that you experience expresses a message. So you talked earlier about sadness and that you couldn't deal with sadness. Sadness had to be converted to anger.
Mm-hmm.
Anger has to do with injustice, where sadness had to do with loss. So when I'm sad, I have lost something. And it's easier for me to deal with injustice than it is for me to sit in the loss of something.
That should have
So
made me throw away these. What you just said? So
wait, hold on.
wait. So sadness have to deal with loss.
Yes.
Anger has to deal with injustice.
Yes.
So
you did me wrong. So I'm angry. But beyond that, like at the bottom of that, because anger is a secondary emotion, but right underneath anger is sadness.
we're gonna take a break right now. 5 minutes. What? I think that just because of my personality, I am big with justice.
Yes, you sure are.
So I'm always in the mode of defense. And I mean, I have my cousins here, and they would know that everybody know not to mess with Tanisha cousins. I won't mess with you. But you touch my cousins, I will tear a whole room up. You touch my children, you touch people that I love, I will react to that. But you touch me,
nothing.
So why won't I feel injustice for myself?
You will now.
I will. Y'all gonna get the anger now. You gonna get it now.
No. Because you are super passive when it comes to things that people have done to you. While I'm on the other end of the line, ready to recognize you talking about ain't no big deal. I'm like, ain't no big deal. Are you kidding? Yeah, you need to catch that. Because I have experienced it firsthand where I'm just like, did this person just disrespect and dishonor my spiritual daughter? And she's sitting there talking about, oh, it ain't no big deal. Okay, so that means that I shouldn't want to fight right now? Help me. Help me help
because
you.
If somebody spiritual mother, I have no problem.
Oh, gosh.
But no. Wait.
Yeah.
So I can't handle loss.
Correct.
In any capacity. What? Wait. No. Wait, Mom.
It's difficult for you.
What? No. Wait. Okay. Why? Is it okay?
So when we think about a funeral, think about losing someone, physically losing them. Some people will do everything that they can to avoid sitting in the fact that they have lost someone, right? Because what loss means is I have to recalibrate my life. This thing, this entity, this dream that I once had is no more. So I have to engage the mental energy of recalibration. This person is no longer sitting beside me. So do I move the chair? Do I put somebody else in that seat? I got to do something. But I have to do it for me. Where the anger, I'm going to do it for them.
Right. So this show is not about me. But so you're telling me that in the season when I was dealing with divorcing everybody
the
else,
reason why we was looking at you crazy, the reason why I was looking at you crazy was because I'm like, she doesn't understand what's going on.
I dissociated.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't mess up the
Right.
What?
Yeah.
She's looking at me like, yeah. do She gonna have me crying in
the show. Keep it together. Your makeup.
No. I disconnected. Okay.
Child, next question. One more thing. Sorry, you said what do I want women to do? Right?
Yeah.
Confront your inner critic. Become an assertive thinker. Assertive thinkers do not allow their thoughts to lead them down rabbit holes. Assertive thinkers are able to pause. Scripture says that we take every thought captive, right? And we bring it into the lordship of Jesus Christ. I misquoted the scripture, child, but y'all know what I'm talking about. but it's about taking it captive. Many of us have become passive thinkers. We allow our thoughts to take us wherever they want to go versus superimposing what God says onto our thought life. So you have to know that you have dominion over your thoughts. Your thoughts do not have dominion over you. And you also have dominion over your emotions. Your emotions don't have dominion over you. So I could be perimenopausal, having hot flashes, and I can still treat you appropriate.
Right. And that
Because
was
my emotions don't control me.
right. And that's something I had to learn in my adulthood is how to emotionally regulate, because I wasn't taught that. I didn't even see that growing up. But I want us to back up, because before I had to.
Sure.
You said,
oh gosh, what
was the first step that you wanted them to do? The first step.
Externalize.
Speak
it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the thought that came into my mind before she just slapped me for a 10. I want you to, if you feel like you do not have a community, because we do say at the beginning of the show, this is a community. If you feel safe here, I want you to send in your email and communicate with us. Communicate with us. Our email will be in the description. I just write into the show. This won't be shared, but we want to make sure that this is a community for real.
Yeah.
I'm not just doing this for likes, for views, for whatever it is, or for even payment, because I don't get paid on here on good old YouTube. YouTube need to pay me though. But but because this is for real. This is what sisterhood looks like. And I don't know if you're going to get to this, but you said that we have not done well in even checking in on each other and saying, how can I serve you? Is that what you said? Did I say it right?
Yes. Yeah. And we have to check in from the understanding that my sister has probably had some shaming experiences. Can we just normalize that? Right. And checking in from that place, that maybe the reason why she has another thing on her list is because she's trying to prove her worth. And so maybe as her sister, I asked that question, Dr. T, why you need another fill in the blank? Right?
Yeah.
Tell me what because you just did something and it was great and it was amazing.
Yeah.
What's this other thing that you're doing?
Right.
I remember the first time somebody asked me that as it relates to my doctorate. So I'm working on my doctorate right now, and she said to me, "Why do you need a doctorate?" She was like, "Check your motive." And that's why some things in my life, people are like, "Ooh, you're just catching up." No. It wasn't a delay. It was intentional because I needed my motives to be pure. I've been called Dr. Winsome long before I have ever ventured into this space, right? But I had to check my motive and align it. I did not start my doctoral degree until I got that response in Ghana. And it was there that the Lord said, now is the time. And he says, and you're doing it in international counseling. You thought you were going for trauma counseling. He said, no, you got enough in that. Get ready for global. And that was the appointed time. So I would have gotten my doctorate in something that I would have missed future.
Right. Ooh.
If I was hasty and needed to prove to people that this was, this is who I am. So we gotta approach each other in safe spaces from that perspective of, sis, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Like what you just did? Let's talk about it though.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I had told Marissa, that I was like, my thoughts, because even though I talk a lot, there's a lot that I withhold.
Sure.
So I will say what I'm feeling. Like this thought just came into my mind, and I will say it because I was doing that warfare by just speaking it, and I didn't hold on to it. It's no longer. I'm not keeping it, and so I'm not because I let it go. I don't have to chew on that. I don't, I don't have to chew on that and turn it into something that it's not. And we talked about this community thing in great length. We said it so many times. But what role does community and sisterhood play in helping women heal from shame?
Yeah, yeah. Again, just going back to what we just stated, I think it helps to normalize our human experience. And when I am in the company of people who can identify with what I have been through, it makes it that much easier for me um, to go through whatever my journey and my process looks like. It's for me like, again, I'm going to reference a funeral. The reason why during COVID people struggled so much was because we had no sense of finality when it came to our families.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't able to engage the ritualistic necessity
Mm-hmm.
for a funeral. This is where people come together who have had a common experience with this person, and they're able to grieve and to talk and to connect because of this person. Mm-hmm. They have all been intimately connected to this person in some way, shape, or form, right? And that's what community does. It allows us, if it is done right, it allows us to come together in a safe space where there is commonality, where there is congruence, and then we're able to engage the healing process from that place. If you were to go to a funeral and somebody fell out crying, you're not going to turn to them and be like, "Why are you crying?"
Right.
So if I'm in a company of safe women,
Mm-hmm.
and I fall out crying, why y'all turning to me and asking me why I'm falling out crying? Because probably I went through something, and I want community to come in and to support me and to undergird me and let me know that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been, I don't know about y'all, but it has been so transformational to me. It's given me a lot to think about. And I hope that it's giving you a lot to think about. Listen, and this is my third time and the last time I'm checking in with you. How are you doing? How are you doing? And I'm hoping that everything that was said today, even the stories and the experience that was shared, that it is helping you to move past, or I shouldn't even say move past, but move through, right? This journey of walking through shame and dealing with our life experiences so that we could become who God has called us to be. Now, this is my last question. Mm-hmm. How can women use the word of God as a weapon against shame when it rises up?
Shame is an assault against your person. And so when you use the word of God, when you use and rehearse what God has said about you, you can begin to see the change and the transformation happen. Women of God, here's the problem. The problem is that we repeat the word, but the word has not become integrated into our lived experience. And so it's not enough for me to say that this is what God says about me. There's a two-part process that I look for in therapy to know that change is happening. The first part is a change of mind. The second part is a change of behavior. When those two are coupled, that is when we have integration. So it's not enough to use the word or say the word or repeat the word. What you say has to become integrated. And the only way that we know that it is integrated is by the decisions that you now make. It is by the conversations you now have with yourself. It is by the interactions that you have with other people. And so the word of God is the first part of the equation. But then I know that you've taken it to heart when your behavior matches the word of God. So if the Lord says that you are the apple of his eye, what risk will you take tomorrow because the eye is preserved? If he says that every hair on your head has been numbered, he knew you, he knitted you together while you were in your mother's womb. Jeremiah, let's pull him. He said, I gave you a name. If you knew that heaven knew your identity, how would you show up tomorrow? So it's not enough that we have the word, but it is how do I integrate the word and then turn that into actionable steps.
I told you guys she knows what she's talking about. She's not just here
Just a
to
little
be
bit.
just to be here. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. You have really blessed me. Bro,
Oh.
I'm gonna be talking to her on the back after this. But listen, how can we reach you?
That
How
question
can the
always
people
tickle me.
reach you?
Okay, I'm on socials, Instagram, Facebook. Soul Care Institute LLC is the website if you want to connect as it relates to coaching or counseling or any of those things. So yeah.
Yes, listen, guys, make sure that you go over to Instagram, go over to Facebook, and follow her. There is trainings that you do and things that she hosts that you should really be in connection with, and maybe you do some virtually. So for all our international folks, because you
Oh,
heard
for
what she
sure.
said, she's an international doctor. You hear that, doctor? You know, we have to say it properly. Listen, I hope that your heart is settled.
Yeah.
I hope that you have received some type of insight to go on to tomorrow. And again, like you said, what would you do
Yeah.
if shame was not a part of your character? And I'm just praying that this episode bless you enough to become who God has called you to be. Again, all of um, Dr. Pastor Winsome McLean information will be in my description, how you can reach her, all her social media, um, everything about her, it will be into the description. And I also want to remind you to go ahead and email us here at the gather. Actually, email me info@drtanishaAllen.com. You'll see that also in the description. And we seriously want to create community, and we want to take this to a next level of womanhood, of sisterhood, and a community that we could grow together and experience the greatness of God in our life together, without jealousy, without competition, without whatever it is, but just to be able to celebrate each other. Um, yeah. So until next time, see you in my next episode. Remember to like, share, and comment on this video. Bye bye now. We love you.